Hi everyone, this is Jaden Dunn with Kiss My Glass Antiques, and today we're at the antique market, vintage market in Kansas City, Missouri, and we are looking for vintage or antique glassware for resale or for my collection, so let's get into it. Okay guys, so let's get into this. First thing we have here is a bit of Fenton and maybe some Mosier too. Started out with these Fenton animals down here. There were some horses, looks like a bunny, maybe a cat. And then right over here are some really cool Transformers. I know this isn't glassware, but they're old and actually new. Transformers are actually just really cool, so I thought I'd show them to you guys. I believe in the intro I called this place like the Vintage Market or something, but it's actually called Merchant Square, so I don't really know what I was thinking when I was doing the intro and the outro, but I was just confused. Here we have some Kentucky Derby glasses. Me and my mom were looking for a specific one called Mind That Bird from 2009, but it looks like it had already been bought, so it sucks. Here's a case of glass with a bunch of Inpoli. Over here in the corner is that decanter with no topper, the one I'm pointing at right now. We actually have one just like that, except we do have the topper for it, so that's pretty cool to see. The Inpoli style is just from a region in Italy, just like Murano glass is also a style in Italy. So here we have some Mary Gregory. I don't know if these prices were good or not because I do not know much about them yet, but I just thought they were really pretty, so we got them on camera. Here we have a beautiful Fenton blue opalescent display, hobnail opalescent display. This apron here, I believe they have it marked at $200. We've seen this a few other places, but $200 is actually the least expensive we've ever seen it, so that was cool to see, a little bit underpriced, so. And here's the exact same one, but in the clear, and I believe it was only like 5 cents different than the blue opalescent. So, you know, if you were gonna get one, I'd probably suggest getting the blue opalescent as it's worth more money than just the clear, but the white opalescent is pretty too. Here's a little more Fenton. Now, this Jack in the Pulpit back here was pretty unique as the front pedal, if you will, was split in half. Luke and I determined that it was made that way and it was not damaged. Here, I was just talking about how I do really like the style of picture set with the glasses, as it's not tall and skinny like the Kanawa. It's more short and fat and just larger around than, like I said, the Kanawa, so it's more visually appealing to me. This was just a set of vintage mid-century modern ashtrays, glass ashtrays, but I had never seen them on like a display where they all like sit together like that, and so it was pretty cool. I wanted to get on camera. I believe it says $60 right there. It's a little pricey. This flower frog was gigantic, like absolutely ginormous. So I thought I'd get it in this Fenton ruffled bowl on the side on camera for you guys. Pretty interesting pieces. Like I said, that flower frog's huge. I had never seen one quite as large. I thought this ruffled little picture right here was so pretty with the amber around the edges.
I mean, it is.
Here we have a mid-century modern ashtray display. Now, these ashtrays were actually priced pretty good. We did leave them behind, didn't pick them up or anything, but the mid-century modern ashtrays are actually becoming very increasingly and fast-paced popular. So keep your eyes out for those at a good price. Here's another piece of Inpoli, an Inpoli blue decanter. Nothing super special, but it did have the topper, which is awesome because most of the time people lose the stopper or the stopper gets broken as it's a very delicate piece of glass. So it was really nice, and they had it taped in there nice and stable, so hopefully no one will break it if they decide to buy it or just handling it to check it out. I don't believe there was any damage to this piece, so that was good. A really great pickup for a collector, just not for us, for resale really. Everyone loves a good uranium glass display, which is what we have right here. I don't know much about the pieces, like specifically. I do know they're depression glass, and that would be around 1930s, 40s. Very pretty. and look really great displayed like this all is together.
Green, opal.
This piece here says Jefferson green opal crimped rose bowl. So, like I said, I just don't know a lot about the individual pieces, but they do have specific makers probably for each. I'm sure some of these were the same maker, but they just all look really nice together, and I would love to have like a set just for Halloween time. It would be awesome. Now, this bowl right here, there was a similar one in episode before, but I believe I said something like, are they really big frogs, or is that a little bitty fisherman? So let me know in the comments which one you think it is. The bowl was really pretty. I think this is $18, which is not a bad price for it, honestly, but we did end up just leaving it behind. So I came across this box of like postcards, which I thought were really interesting. Most of them were vintage, of course, and we'll look at a couple right here. I believe this one, I'm going to flip it over so we can look at it, but it's from Missouri, and I think it's postmarked 1911. So this is actually an antique postcard, as it is over 100 years old, which was pretty awesome to see. And I think we look at just a couple more here, but it was cool to see them all together, and especially to look at the different designs that they had. I mean, they had a card for everything, of course, like we do nowadays, but just seeing how they used to look, and like the postmarks, and just really soaking in the antique, if you can understand what I'm trying to say here. The one I just had never really been used before, but neither had this one. They were just really interesting, though. Cool to see blank ones as well, because like you could just buy them and use them like as they were intended, but today. So that'd be cool. Let's see, what is this one postmarked? 1912? 1912. I also think it's kind of interesting that it has the timestamp on some of them. Really cool to see. I was trying to get it to where we could read it, so if you guys just want to pause and read it right here, that would be interesting to see, to actually dive into. But here we have some Moon and Stars pieces. Lots of Moon and Stars in this booth. They were priced at basically retail, which is fine for collectors. Maybe a little bit under retail for collectors, but not so much for resale. And I already have a whole canister set.
How much?
This little ashtray was pretty cool. The ashtray that I have is much larger and more flat. Kind of looks like a plate, whereas this one was small and more deep, as mine was more shallow. Like I said, they had a lot of Moon and Stars here. I'm going to go in for the candlesticks. For some reason, they put the one with the price behind the one without the price, but in just a second, I think I showed the other one with the price tag on it. I believe these were fairly priced, just a little bit under retail, but not enough where you would want to risk shipping them and such. Super pretty. I have a set of blue and I believe a set of amber. So, if it was for a collector though, if you're just walking in the antique mall and you happen to collect them, then that was a great price, and I would definitely recommend picking them up at that price for your collection.
It's okay.
Here we are looking at the amber. This compote up here was really pretty. I have a blue one just like this one. I believe it's marked at 40. 40 isn't a bad price, especially for that color. You could probably get 60 out of it if you were to resell it.
Oh.
Here we have this Fenton Epergne. At 65, that's probably pretty close to the going rate, so we did decide to leave it behind. Okay guys, so this booth was really exciting, and I got super excited, so I did move a little faster in it. I tried to slow down a couple clips so we could go over it. Look at all those swung vases. A few of these are Smith, but most of them are Viking. The one that I just held the tag for is called a Tundra vase. I believe it is Viking. Here's some more Swungs and some Inpoli decanters. Those genie bottles right there were gigantic. I cannot confirm that they were Inpoli. They could have been Murano. They were seeming a little Murano to me, but Like I said, I don't know anything about them. They could be modern, they could not be. In just a second, I'm going to step back and get like more of an overview of the whole booth. I'll talk about this bird here in just a second. It was a beautiful long-tailed bird. Down here, some more Smith and Viking. Alright, here comes the overview for you guys. You can see why I was pretty excited. We love a good swung vase. Unfortunately, most of the things in this booth were priced just under retail to where it wasn't really worth picking up for resale, but it was just a little bit too expensive for us for a collection. This right here is a Viking Epic Drape with no pedestal, which I am looking for one like this. It was just a little bit too pricey for the height in it. If it was about $20 cheaper, I probably would have picked it up. Here next to it, for comparison, you can see that this is a drape with the pedestal as compared to the one without the pedestal. Here you can see this red in front of us is a L.A. Smith Dominion, and the green in the back is a L.A. Smith Ribbed. The ribbed one was around $185, which happens to be where the price is headed. So like in 3 months or so, I'd say that was probably a good price to pick up for resale, but as of this moment in time, it's just a little bit too expensive. Here we have a Fostoria opalescent, pink opalescent bowl and candlesticks that match. Really pretty, absolutely stunning. I'm not sure what the going rate on it was, but I would say that was probably the collector's price that we just saw. Now, right here, you can see the decanters with the teardrop-shaped lid. Those are Inpoli decanters, and that is just a region in Italy in which they were made. They are vintage, of course. And the swung vases behind them were all L.A. Smith. There were 2 or 3 ribbed and 1 broken column. This compo right here, I heard someone call it a head scratcher once, but it's just a compo. It was a Viking. I believe it was the 6-petal compo in large. This swung vase right in front of us is L.A. Smith Ribs, beautiful in ruby. We spent quite a bit of time in this booth just comparing prices to see what things were priced well and to see if there was any really good deals we could get to. This down here is actually a Smith ribbed vase in flame or ruby, more of a ruby. And this compo in my hand, I had never seen one in this shape, well, quite in this shape. It looks kind of like a flower, but this is a Viking 6-petal compo. It was just huge and almost a candy dish, more of. I'm not sure the going rate on them, but we did end up leaving it behind. It was in the lime colorway, maybe green, but it's cutting it close to lime. Like I said, that right there, that swung vase is a L.A. Smith ribbed. Now, the ribs on the smaller ones are a little different than the ribs on the larger ones. So if you're looking at that and then looking at the one I said before and you're like, these are different, they are different. You're correct. This, compared to the other one, this is a Viking drape compo or candy dish. And the one we just looked at in the lime colorway was a 6-petal. So you can see the difference on the edge. The drape one matches the vases we saw just a second ago. Alright, now we're up on this top one. I was looking over here. This over here is actually a Viking duck, large duck. There's several different styles or poses, if you will. Now over here is a Viking long-tail bird candy dish. It is very collectible. I think it was $80, which I thought was a really good price. But when we looked up eBay comps, it was about the going rate, at least for the amber one. So always check your eBay comps just to make sure you're not overpaying and making sure it's a good deal at the same time. And take into consideration when you do that shipping is a cost. The glass rooster back there was also Viking, but I forgot to mention it. Up here, we have the small, the medium, and the large, I believe. 6-petal Viking compotes. I really love the tiny ones. They're so cute. They all look really nice together. If I've seen a couple of people who have like the whole rainbow of them, and they look awesome together. Here's me getting a closer look at the Inpoli bottles. I was a little bit everywhere with this, but I was trying to be thorough and look at every single piece of glass and every single price tag. Here we have the infamous Indiana glass candy dish in Amberina, so of course I had to put that on there. The canister you just saw was a Mary Mushroom canister, and they are worth lots of money. This here is an Ellie Smith 6-petal. I know that price tag says Viking, but it is Ellie Smith 6-petal compote. And this is a Fenton opalescent, brown opalescent swung vase. I have one similar to this. My mom really liked this one. The one I have just has the hobnail. That one was Lily of the Valley, I believe. Here's some more Moon and Stars for us in the amber colorway. Different sizes, of course. The large pedestal. I don't know what you would call the other pedestal one. I don't know if it's medium or if it's considered a different shape. And then the small, short pedestal. This was a cake tray, actually, and I had never seen a Moon and Stars cake tray with the rippled lip like that one had. There you can see the smoked canister. Smoked canisters are worth money, but that one was priced very high, especially for not having the lid. Here's another mid-century modern ashtray. $15 may have been a good price on that, especially since they're just up and coming. I loved these little daisy glasses. Very cute, very pretty. It would make a great display. I wish they had the picture with them, though. I thought this compote / candy dish was really cool. I had never seen one with, like, the rolled over lips like that. This would be a piece that did not have a lid, unlike the other compotes we see. See what I mean with, like, the rolled lid? Like, I don't know. It was more of a candy dish than a compote, really. Wanted to get this on camera. We ended up picking up some fudge from this lady, but she was standing there, and I told her I would put her on YouTube to see if we could get some people in there for her.
Okay guys, so all we ended up with was some fudge, some salt shakers that my mom bought me, and the blue Tundra swung vase. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna resell the swung vase, so we'll see what we can get out of it. But thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.